Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of My Mom Thinks I'm Cool. For those of you wondering why I am making a video blog series, it's because I lost a challenge to a friend. This challenge consisted of me making a bet that if My Mom Thinks I'm Cool was an available channel name for YouTube, that I would make a video blog series around it. So, here I am making a video blog series around it, and today's episode is about Breaking Bad and the finale that's coming up this Sunday. So, for those of you who do not want anything spoiled, I suggest stop watching this now. Actually, for those of you who are sane, I would also suggest stop watching this now because I have a feeling that I'm just going to start ranting for the next 5 minutes or so. Okay, Breaking Bad. How did I get started with this series? I actually started around the same time the season 1 box set came out a couple years ago, and it got so intense that when I tried to binge watch it, I had to force myself to stop because after the episode where Walt and Jesse melted two human beings in a bathtub, my mind literally couldn't take any more of it. And I'm like, really? For a first season, this is amazing. But it was just so amazing that I actually had to stop. And I stopped for about a year and a half, closer to 2 years, because by the time I got back to the series, it was on season 4. No, it was probably on season 5, because I just started watching season 2 about a month ago when I was on a family vacation in Alaska. Yes, that's right, I binged watched Breaking Bad on a family vacation. I'm not a huge fan of vacations. I love my work. I'm very passionate about my work. When I'm taken away from my work, I feel totally empty inside because I'm a sad workaholic. Anyhow, the only place that had a widescreen TV and a DVD player on the cruise boat was the gym. So I was actually forced to work out so that I could use the treadmill that was in front of the television screen and subsequent DVD player. From there, I actually blasted through seasons 2 and 3, and then when I got back home, I binged watched the hell out of season 4, which was very intense. I think if I was to gauge my favorite seasons in order, I would have to say 2, 4, 1, and 3. I just felt season 2 was very, very well constructed and thought out from start to finish. There were a ton of, complex plot lines going on. And I just thought that it was fantastic to be able to see Walt and Jesse, starting to build their empire. I actually felt like I was watching history unfold. It was absolutely brilliantly constructed, and I give all the writers and creators and everyone who worked on that season kudos. Season 3, I wasn't too much a fan of because I felt like the plot line got weirdly simple all of a sudden, and really, really straightforward for its own good. Too much to its own good, if that makes sense. The whole storyline with the cousins, and it was just the ending of season 3 was anticlimactic. I mean, Walt, spoiler alert. Walt shooting those gangsters in the head and telling Jesse to run. Yeah, okay, it's epic and all, but nothing really happened. I felt like the character development was totally inconsistent in that season. And I just wasn't a fan of season 3. And in season 4, I mean, putting two brilliant masterminds head to head, Walt and Gus, that was just brilliant. And the finale, Face Off, was just clever all around. And then season 5 is I really wish this season they would give a little more time with for Walt to really build his empire. Like, he's there, he's at the top, he is the new Gus, and yet I'm not convinced that he is the new kingpin of the meth industry. It's just they really need to give him more time. Like, make him more badass. You guys have the chance. He's at he's at the height of his game right now. I'm just not really. I like it. I think they're doing a good job. Someone's calling me. Okay, I'll ignore that until later. I think they're doing a good job with it. I just think they could push the envelope a little further and make Walt really the king before bringing him down completely, which is what I'm hoping happens in the final episode. So, as this vlog is about the upcoming finale, called Fillet. Now we're coming up to the finale, and what I sort of like the direction we're taking it in. I know a lot of people were a fan of episode 14 of season 5, part B, whatever. I wasn't really a fan of episode 14. I thought it was really I thought the direction was cool. I really liked the way that they revisited Jesse's and Walt's sort of past and when they first started cooking together, because their relationship is just so strained now, and I love that. It's really just, I mean, like, yeah, why keep them buddy buddy? Make it tragic. That's what everyone wants to see. It's really sad to see these guys who are like essentially best friends and father and son. Wow, that was a great dynamic they built in season 2. Just to have that completely ruined and broken down, not because of external factors, but because Walt's a jackass. It's just great to see, and I know everyone says this, but yeah, of course that's what the story's all about. It's great to see a character, rise and fall like this. It's so interesting. It speaks so much to human nature and what we're capable of doing, to other humans, and it's just ridiculous. But yeah, I wasn't really a fan of, again, yeah, Hank dying, super cool. Man, that guy didn't deserve it. I think that's why we loved the episode. But the end of the episode just really took me out of the game. I mean, like, Walt finally, Walt stole Holly. He literally kidnapped his own daughter. And at the end of the episode, and like, how long did that last? 10 minutes? No, like 5 minutes in the episode? And I mean, like, he gives the baby back. And, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen Battlestar Galactica, but, they did it right. They, the bad guys kidnapped the child, and they had the child kidnapped until the very last episode. Can you imagine how intense that was? It was super crazy. Oh, and can I just say, while I'm on this little rant here, that people who have called Breaking Bad the best thing to ever happen to television, you are the same people who clearly haven't seen an episode of Battlestar Galactica. Because can I just say, no show better illustrates human nature, human psychology, human society better than Battlestar Galactica. So definitely get on that if you want a show that'll really make you question what life is all about. It's one of the best written shows I've ever seen, and I think I will ever see. So, once you're done Breaking Bad and you're looking for something to do on Sunday nights, Battlestar Galactica, Battlestar Galactica. I can't stress this enough. Dwight was right in The Office. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Get on that. The fact that, I have no idea why Breaking Bad would just take away that tension, that intensity, in a plot line. Like, we felt really, really scared. I felt scared when Walt had Holly because I'm like, he's gonna kill her. Something bad's gonna happen to that child. And, Hitchcock figured this out, like, 50 years ago, to make an audience really, really, have their heart wrenched and, their gut tied in a knot. Wow, I'm coming up with the weirdest metaphors right now. Put the most innocent creatures in the most dire of situations. Have a bomb about to explode when you have a grandmother, a dog, and a baby all on the same bus. Because if that shit explodes, yeah, we're gonna be bawling like crazy. I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, you'd be inhuman if you weren't, like, going crazy over that sort of thing. So my question is, why didn't Breaking Bad do that? I hope we find out in the final episode. Maybe Walt's, paternal side was coming out and he's like, okay, I can't do this to my own child. Like, no matter how terrible of a person I've become, this is the one thing I can't do. If that's what they were going for, I wasn't convinced. I wasn't happy with the ending of episode 14. Episode 15, however, the penultimate episode, I thought was absolutely brilliantly crafted. It was a great setup episode for the finale. I love the ending, especially when he watches, his old partners and, Gretchen talking about gray matter and how he wasn't, involved with the inception of the company. And I was just like, oh man, this is fantastic. Like, this is Walt's Rosebud. Like, this is why he is who he is. So, I really hope, I hate to say this, but I really hope he actually does get Gretchen back, because, like, that's, oh man, that was just really mean of them. Yeah, it's cool how they established that Walt is dead and Heisenberg is, completely taking over, Anakin Darth Vader style. But, like, to really complete this circle, I think Walt needs to get them back and really just you know, because this is what he's been, about all these years. The fact that he lost that company, to two of his best friends. Like, how tragic is that? Now, I think what people want to hear is what I think is going to happen in the finale. Yeah, without getting too specific, because I don't think we're going to be able to get it right. Actually, you know what? Before I get into that, can I just say there was this one website that my friend showed a bunch of us yesterday, and it was 12 comedians, I believe, or a bunch of comedians who came together and came up with their own theories of how Breaking Bad would end. And my favorite, absolute favorite one that I'm still laughing at to this today is number 4 here. I'll post the link in the comments in the description section below. But this is one person's theory of how Breaking Bad's going to end. Walt returns, kills the Nazis, saves Skyler. She goes, "Ooh, you're bad." And then Walt says, "Yeah, Breaking Bad," and puts on a pair of shades as Bad to the Bone starts blasting in the background. Let's think about this for a second. Of all the endings they could come up with, that's actually not the worst one. In my opinion, I think that would be pretty epic because let's face it, CSI Miami did that all the time and they did it terribly. If there's one show that I think could pull off something like that really well, it's gonna be Breaking Bad. So, you know what? If they do that, I actually wouldn't complain, because I think it'd be pretty epic. Would it be jokes as hell? Yeah, but it would be pretty epic. The internet will be in an outrage. But you know what? I think that'd be hilarious. And I don't think it would be bad at all. I think it would be funny. And you know what? Walt's badass enough to pull that off. So why the hell not? But in all seriousness, I think I don't know if anyone has read the and spoiler alert. I don't know if anyone has read the King Arthur and Knights of the Round Table, but I'm a huge fan of that of that tale of stories, that collection of stories, and I've actually found a lot of similarities and parallels between the way that story is taking place. Or how that story sort of unfolds, and how Breaking Bad has unfolded over the past couple years. In the sense that, again, I don't want to spoil anything if anyone's planning on reading the the Tales of King Arthur. But King Arthur, the way the story goes that he rises to, he starts off as just a page pretty much, helping out around the stable and his, the knights that he serves for, and then he eventually becomes this this badass king, and he ruling the kingdom and everything with his knights, and of course his most trusted knight, Sir Lancelot. And that's where I started drawing parallels between Breaking Bad and the Knights of King Arthur. I see I see Walter White as a sort of like deranged King Arthur, and Jesse as his most trusted knight, Lancelot. And in King Arthur and Knights of the Round Table, their relationship goes super sour. To the point where they, Lancelot is actually like, the linchpin at the end that, forces King Arthur's reign to, forces King Arthur's kingdom to crumble. And I think that's the way that Breaking Bad's going to end as well. Yeah, like the end of King Arthur was absolutely tragic. And I really hope that's sort of how Breaking Bad ends as well. That it's Jesse, it's Walt's most trusted knight in shining armor that that eventually brings him down. Because that's like, think about it logically. That, in my opinion, would be the most tragic way to end Walt's life. Here's a guy who's been fighting cancer for a year. He finally gets out of it. He's building his empire, and what is the one thing that brings him down? The guy who he built this empire with. Same thing with King Arthur. And I gotta say, definitely read that book if you guys ever have a chance. The final chapters of King Arthur's downfall and the final battle at Avalon is just, the final chapter at Avalon is just beautifully written, absolutely wonderfully composed. In terms of in terms of literary fiction, and I highly recommend it. And that's why I actually compare the two together, because the way I see television, it's a text that can be read. So I have no problem comparing Breaking Bad with a book such as King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, because like any book, it's something that you can talk about with friends, and really share opinions with. How do you think it's going to end? How do you think it's going to go along? And it's really, at the end of the day, just great storytelling that you can share the experience with with a bunch of friends, or nowadays with social media friends, if they even exist. I don't know. But yeah, that's how I think Breaking Bad is going to end. I have no idea. 15 minutes? Jesus Christ. I'm probably going to have to cut this video down because I didn't realize I was going to rant on for that long. I'm hoping that pause when someone called me will take out a lot of time. But yeah, that's how I think Breaking Bad is going to end. Um, I don't know if this is going to be the last video that I make for this channel. Um, if there was something you liked, post in the comments section below, because I genuinely want to hear what you guys think about how Breaking Bad is going to end, and if you did like anything in this little rant here, which started out as a vlog, but I guess now it's just an endless stream of consciousness that's coming out of my mouth. Let me know. And if you guys do like it, then maybe I'll make something else around the topic that you guys want me to talk about, if I'm well informed enough to talk about it. And if you guys want me to shut the hell up and never make another video again, I'm totally down for that too. Oh, my friend is telling me don't forget a call to action. Right. So do whatever it is you're supposed to do at the end of a YouTube video, like and subscribe and whatever. Okay. Bye guys. Hope you enjoyed.